The midday sun spilled through the dusty cafeteria windows, bathing the crowded lunch tables in a golden haze, but for Maya, the shy, soft-spoken girl who always sat in the far corner, the light felt more like a spotlight she desperately wanted to avoid. She sat alone, clutching her lunchbox like a shield, her long hair falling forward to hide her face as she tried to disappear into the background, unaware that three of the school's most notorious bullies, Rita, Sonal, and Mega, had been watching her all week, whispering and smirking, their predatory eyes fixed on her timid movements. It started small, a bump in the hallway here, a sarcastic watch where you're going there, but today, something about the way they strutted toward her table felt different, dangerous. The cafeteria noise seemed to dull into a low hum as they approached, Rita's sharp heels clicking on the floor like a countdown to impact, Sonal with her phone ready to record whatever humiliation they had planned, and Mega chewing gum with exaggerated snaps, their presence cutting through the air like knives. Maya kept her eyes on her lunch, but her heart thudded painfully, that deep instinct telling her something bad was about to happen. "Hey, Mouse," Rita's voice dripped with venom, "did you think you could hide forever?" And before Maya could respond, Sonal reached out, grabbed the front of her neatly ironed school uniform, and with a sudden violent jerk, fabric tore, the sound sharp and humiliating, echoing in her ears as gasps and whispers rippled through the cafeteria. The girls laughed, loud and cruel, and Mega shoved Maya back into her seat so hard her lunchbox clattered to the floor, spilling rice and curry across her shoes. Shame burned through Maya's chest, but beneath it, something else stirred, something she had spent years suppressing since her father, a retired martial arts instructor, had drilled self-defense into her during long summer evenings when she was a child. She had promised herself never to use it unless there was no other way, but right now, the stinging humiliation, the crowd's mocking eyes, and the bully's smug grins told her that the time for silence was over. Rita leaned closer, sneering, "What are you gonna do, cry?" And in that instant, Maya's eyes snapped up, locking onto hers with a calm, icy focus that made Rita falter. Maya stood slowly, brushing the torn fabric from her shoulder, her posture straightening until she no longer looked like prey, but something sharper, more dangerous. In one smooth motion, when Rita reached to shove her again, Maya stepped in, gripped Rita's wrist, and pivoted her body with practiced precision, her knee driving upward into Rita's ribs with a crack that cut through the cafeteria noise like thunder. Rita's breath left her in a choked gasp as she doubled over, the laughter around them replaced by stunned silence. Sonal dropped her phone, her smirk gone, and Mega took an instinctive step back, eyes wide. Maya didn't speak, she didn't need to. Her stance, her steady breathing, and the unreadable expression on her face told everyone in the room that the shy girl they thought they could break had just shattered their illusion. Instead, a teacher's voice shouted from across the room, students began to murmur, and the bullies stumbled toward the nurse's office while Maya simply walked to the nearest trash bin, picked up her lunchbox, and left the cafeteria without looking back, her heart pounding not from fear but from the surge of something she hadn't felt in years, control. Little did she know, this single moment would ignite a chain of events that would push her into battles far beyond the cafeteria, where courage would be tested in ways she couldn't yet imagine. The news spread through the school faster than wildfire, whispers turning into full-blown rumors before the final bell had even rung. Some said Maya had broken 2 ribs, others swore Rita had been coughing blood. By the time Maya walked into class after lunch, the room felt like a theater waiting for its lead actress to appear, every eye on her, some with admiration, some with fear, and some with jealousy. She ignored them, sliding into her seat as if nothing had happened, though inside she was still replaying the crack of her knee against bone. The way the bullies' faces had shifted from amusement to shock in a heartbeat. The teacher tried to start the lesson, but the air was thick with unspoken questions, and when the final bell rang for the day, Maya barely made it 3 steps out of the classroom before she was surrounded, not by friends exactly, but by curious onlookers desperate to know if the rumors were true. She pushed past them without a word, but as she stepped into the hallway, she saw them, Rita, Sonal, and Mega, leaning against the lockers, their faces pale and twisted with rage. Rita had an arm wrapped around her ribs, her breath shallow, but her eyes burned with a dangerous promise. "You think this is over?" she hissed, stepping forward despite the pain. "You humiliated me, and no one humiliates me in this school." Sonal filmed on her phone again, trying to look confident, but her hands trembled, while Mega cracked her knuckles, blocking Maya's path. The crowd grew, phones raised, the tension electric, and for a moment, Maya considered walking away. She didn't want to be that person again, the one who fought, the one her father had warned would attract the wrong kind of attention. But when Rita reached forward and grabbed her by the collar, yanking her close enough to smell the mint gum and anger on her breath, Maya's body moved before her mind could stop it. Her hand shot up, locking Rita's wrist, twisting just enough to make her gasp. Then she shifted her weight, spinning and sending Rita stumbling into a locker with a hollow bang that echoed down the hall. Mega lunged, her fists swinging wildly, but Maya sidestepped, her palm striking upward into Mega's chin, snapping her head back with a sharp thunk against the metal behind her. Sonal shrieked, dropping her phone again, and tried to rush Maya from the side, but Maya's knee came up in a brutal, precise strike to her stomach, folding her in half before she crumpled to the floor. The crowd erupted, half cheering, half screaming, as teachers fought their way through to break it up. Maya stood there, chest rising and falling steadily, surrounded by 3 groaning bullies and a circle of stunned witnesses, her hair falling in perfect disarray like a heroine stepping out of a movie scene. Enough, a teacher bellowed, dragging Rita up by the arm, but even as they were pulled apart, Rita's glare promised this wasn't over. By the next morning, the video was everywhere on students' phones, on social media, even whispered about by staff in the teacher's lounge, and suddenly, Maya wasn't just the shy girl in the corner anymore, she was the girl who fought back, the one who stood up when pushed too far, and with that reputation came both respect and danger. Some students approached her with genuine admiration, asking if she could teach them how to defend themselves, while others, friends of the bullies, began lurking at the edges of her vision, waiting for the right moment to strike. She found herself walking through hallways with a new kind of awareness, not shrinking into the background but scanning her surroundings like a soldier in hostile territory, and though she didn't seek out trouble, trouble seemed determined to find her. One afternoon, she found a note in her locker, the handwriting jagged and aggressive, "You won this round. Next time, you won't walk away." No signature, but she didn't need one. She could feel the eyes on her from across the courtyard where Rita sat, flanked by students who were bigger, older, and far more dangerous than the trio she had faced before. For a second, doubt flickered in her chest. She was just a girl, after all, but then she remembered the sound of the cafeteria going silent, the way her heartbeat had steadied when she stood her ground, and she knew something important had shifted inside her. She wasn't just surviving anymore, she was ready. The chapter of her life where she hid in shadows was over, and whatever came next, she would face it head on, because sometimes, the quietest person in the room is the one you should never underestimate. So if you're watching this right now, remember Maya's story. Remember that standing up for yourself isn't about being the strongest or the loudest, it's about refusing to be broken. And if you want more stories that will light a fire in your chest and make you believe in your own strength, hit that subscribe button and join the fight, because the next battle is just getting started.